ASITE has been around since 2001. We were founded in London in 2001. Myself, Robert Chinggis, and Sir John Egan, and a few others set up ASITE to basically provide a data platform for the built environment. So 20 years in, we've had a lot of successes, and we're still working very hard on that vision. And the built environment for us, for ASITE, is obviously a broad church. It encompasses everything from design and construction, the early phase, from concept through to delivery of a building. Not just a building, but we're heavy into infrastructure as well, so all types of assets, as well as then maintaining, operating, and driving efficiencies for the use of these built assets. So all of that is stitched together. We work with large contractors and large property owner operators to help digitize their process, basically. So we're a very broad platform, having been one of the key distinguishing features of ASITE compared to other software solutions that you'll find in the market is that because we've spent the last 20 years building specifically for this purpose, we only serve the built environment, the construction, engineering, and property. We have a very deep level of functionality that's all integrated together. And we started out even way back in 2001 as a cloud-based or pure internet-based system, software as a service. Back then we didn't have the terms cloud or software as a service but nonetheless we were that, even though we didn't know we would be called that a few years later. So in terms of products, we divide our platform up into three main product families. So the first is what we call supply chain management, or SCM, which for us is all about bringing together all the companies, from the clients and the contractors and engineers, right down through the supply chain to subs and material suppliers, manufacturers, bringing them all together digitally, electronically, to connect over how they actually purchase from each other, as well as how they, in terms of supply chain, pre-qualify, go out to bid or tender for work, win work, how contracts are then awarded and managed. So that's supply chain management. Second family for us, within that, there's a number of different products, but within the next family is what we call PPM, or project portfolio management. That's really about the implementation phase of the built asset lifecycle. So designing and constructing, basically getting out of the ground, or if it's horizontal construction, i.e. rail, for example, getting it along the ground. Either way, getting the asset from concept into reality. And then the third family of products for us is our APM product family, or asset performance management. And that again is really, so FM for your buildings, asset management for your property estate, managing everything from the objects and products that go into it and being able to track them, through to work orders for tradespeople who need to fix, change a light bulb or fix a broken radiator, as well as from a property management perspective, managing leases and rental yields and all the operational pieces of buildings and assets. So those are the three main families. And then the fourth element, which kind of sits alongside or above all those, is the ASITE ecosystem, which is a very important part, because what the ecosystem basically is our platform used as a kind of a launch pad, an open interface for all the other different systems that will serve particular needs of our clients. We have always been, from the beginning, focused on integration, and we've always had an open approach. So we recognize that in order to best serve our customers, we need to not be precious about their data. It's all about getting their data into the right place where they need to use it, and then getting the right bits back out to the people who need to act on them, and really providing like a tracking mechanism. So we integrate with over 100 different other vendors, all of whom are part of our ecosystem, and can basically add additional value that we might not directly add, but we can help by basically tracking all the flows. So that's important. And then finally, as I said, 20 years, we've got a lot going on. Something that we're working very hard on right now is going to be launched early 2022 in earnest, both in our UK market and US Northeast, but also in the UAE, is what we call ASITE Marketplace. ASITE Marketplace is basically, quite simply, it's the small and medium enterprise. So it's ASITE for small companies. Everything from one-man shop up to 10 to 15, 25 people who aren't implementing large-scale enterprise systems because it's just not at the right cost point, but who can use all this functionality in order to upskill, right? And that's a really big focus for us. It's going to be a big launch, and if you think kind of Alibaba for construction only, for construction and property, that might give you a bit of an idea. I think it's of critical importance for everybody who wants to thrive and survive, much less thrive in our digital economy going forward. This is an interesting question because, having spent my career, I studied urban planning, and as well as engineering, software engineering, and then I ended up luckily managing to combine those two things into the business that we've created. So I spent my career serving construction and AEC and property with technology. And it's, as you say, it's widely said that the construction industry is slow to adopt technology. I personally think that's wrong. And I think the reasoning behind that is first of all, as we all know, construction is, by number of participants or number of companies involved in it, in every advanced economy, is the biggest industry that there is. Yeah. Whether in terms of GDP, it may be eclipsed by defense or other things, or energy perhaps in certain areas, but in terms of just pure number of companies involved, it's absolutely the largest industry. Now, when you talk about industries that are perceived as being advanced in terms of adoption of digital technologies like aerospace or manufacturing or retail logistics. If you take aerospace and for example, you've got effectively 2 or possibly a maximum of 5 global main players who control the supply chains. In automotive, another example, you've got maybe 100, right? Roughly globally. In construction, you've got literally hundreds of thousands of sources of funding and different spheres of influence. If you take, actually, I think it would be interesting. We tried to get this research, but if we could take a percentage of overall companies who've adopted technology like BIM and advanced, engineering and additive design, generative design, then I think the overall, absolute number of adopters into construction would dwarf the other industries. ASITE has got a number of different activities going on, as part of Expo. Next month we're speaking at and exhibiting at a couple of events around decarbonization of and retrofitting of existing assets. Again, built environment and the environmental impact. We are working with the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors and the World Built Environment Forum to host and deliver a digital twin of Dubai, which will be showcased in January as part of the Expo at a WBEF event. Clearly we hope that this will continue to raise our profile in the region. More importantly, is that it'll help to get the advanced state of technology of which we are a part, out in display so that people can see the hard work and the really interesting developments that are going on. And then we'll continue on the sidelines, continuing to grow ASITE's business in the region.